Hi guys, how are you? Welcome back to another episode here on Cancer Free Cree. Today I'm just doing a quick video on a very popular topic, and that is meal prep. Everyone wants to know how to meal prep, everyone wants to meal prep, everyone talks about meal prep. Most people are overwhelmed by meal prep. I'm here to tell you that it doesn't have to be overwhelming. It can be easy, it can be fun, it can be simple, and it can honestly take just an hour out of your day. So something that I do is just meal prep a few kind of staple ingredients that I can use throughout the week, whether that's for lunches or for dinners or even for breakfast. And it really honestly only takes me an hour, and I set aside a little bit of time on whatever day I have available. Maybe it's every Sunday, and the thing is that if I don't get to it, I don't get to it. That's fine. I move on. But I don't beat myself up about it either. The number one thing to understand is that meal prep doesn't have to mean buying a bunch of these meal prepping containers and lining them all out over your kitchen table and spending a whole day in the kitchen sleeving over food for breakfast and lunch and dinner and having everything in your week prepared. It doesn't have to be that way. It certainly can if that's what you're into and that works for you. That's wonderful, but you only really need a couple of staples just to have on hand, and that will ease some of the pressure and some of the stress that it takes to kind of get things ready and going. So especially if you're a busy mom like me, it's really nice to have a little extra time on your hands. So I just want to talk about a few things that I love to make, and I'm going to start with one of my favorites here, and that is lentils. Obviously, I need to buy more. Almost out. So these are lentils. You can kind of see they're little tiny beans, and they're one of the best beans because you don't have to soak them. They cook really fast. So they cook up in 15 minutes, even faster than rice or anything that generally takes a lot longer. And they're so packed with flavor and nutrients. They are, I think I have to say, probably one of the most flavorful beans I've ever tasted. And they are packed with iron, they're packed with fiber, and they have tons of other awesome nutrients in them. So these are something great to have on hand, especially because they cook up so quickly. So even on the days or nights you don't have food prepped, you can throw these in a pan on the stove and they're ready to go. And they're delicious warm and they're delicious cold. So make them, they're really good. You really just, if you don't know how to cook them, obviously you can always read the package or Google it, but really simple. The way I do mine is I rinse them in a fine mesh strainer just to get out any like rocks, or sometimes there's like a little pebble in there or something, and get off all the yucky stuff on the outside. And then you put it in a pan of cool water, and then I bring it to a boil and only let it boil for a second because you don't want the beans to toss around too much or the skins start to come loose and they get kind of ugly. And then you put it down to a simmer and then let them simmer for about 15 minutes. And I like to do mine in veggie broth if I have it. If not, you could just use water. Just make sure you salt them at the end. Don't salt them during their cooking or they won't get soft enough. And then I also put in a little bit of like Italian seasoning blend. So whatever you have on hand, even if it's just like basil, oregano, or whatever, it's really yummy. Or you can put nothing. Next, I'm going to talk about brown rice. So this is just, I think it's a long grain organic brown rice. You can use whatever you like. If you like basmati rice or jasmine rice, feel free to use those. This is just kind of a plain rice, if you will. So brown rice is really the healthier rice. It does have the germs still intact on the outside. That's why it's brown, and it is going to do a better job at not spiking your blood sugar. So if you do have a choice between brown and white, it is better to choose the brown rice. White rice is not horrible for you. It's just more of a simple carb rather than a complex carb, and so like I said, it's gonna spike your blood sugar. So if you do eat it, just make sure you eat it with ample protein and fats, and that will help kind of digest things a little bit better. So anyways, I cook my brown rice typically in veggie broth and with a little bit of salt too, and I do it in my handy dandy rice cooker. This thing is like the simplest, cheapest rice cooker you can get. I think it probably costs like $20. My mom actually gave it to me, but it's awesome. It's really compact, it's small, and you literally just put it in this little pot. It comes with even a little measuring cup, and you fill it. I think it's for every 1 cup rice, I put in about 2 cups of broth. And then depending on what you like, and I've made in this thing, I've made like risottos, I've made Mexican rice, I've made quinoa. You can do so many things in it. And the best part is it literally just has like a down button for on, and then when it's done, it turns off by itself and it switches to warm, and it just sits and warms for you. So it's super awesome. You can totally cook them on the stovetop as well, but I'm just not super great at making rice on the stove. I don't know why. It never turns out perfectly, no matter how many times I try it. So I love my rice cooker. It's amazing. So, and just to show you, so I did a little meal prep yesterday. Excuse me. So this is the brown rice that I cooked. So this is like a, a little container. It's probably about 2 cups-ish, 2.5 cups. It was full. I ate some today. I made some fried rice for lunch. So this is nice. You can just have this all ready to go. And fried rice, whether that's like typical fried rice, or I like to just like pack mine full of veggies and cook it up really quick in a little sesame oil with onions and garlic. Today I made it with bok choy. But this is already pre-made, so you don't have to worry about having the brown rice. It takes about 45 minutes for brown rice to cook. So it's already ready to go, and I can eat this all week long. Sometimes I'll even make some for breakfast and have it with beans, lunch, whatever it is. And obviously the kids like it too for quick stir-fry fried rice dinners. And then I forgot to show you, I have my lentils here. So these are lentils that I also made yesterday. And these, like I said, are really delicious cold or hot. I love to make salads with them. I love doing like a little Dijon vinaigrette over these. Are really good. In the summer months, they're amazing with cucumber and tomato and like a little vinaigrette dressing. It's amazing. But you can do so many different things with it. You can have them pre-made and use them for lentil tacos for a really quick dinner. You can add them into your marinara sauce to do like a bolognese without the meat, or you can add it, you can do half meat and half lentils and kind of save a little bit that way. And then other things I do is I roast veggies. So I just get whatever I have on hand. I had sweet potato and cauliflower this week, and I do them in my toaster oven generally. So I just put them on a sheet pan. I line this with parchment paper. You don't have to, but that just makes for easier cleanup. And then you toss or coat your veggies with olive oil and a little salt and pepper, and then whatever other seasonings you like. So I made roasted sweet potatoes. So here's a little sweet potato round. And then I made some roasted cauliflower. So with the roasted sweet potato, I love mine with smoked paprika. A chipotle powder is really good too. Or you can just keep it simple and do like a little garlic powder or just salt and pepper. And then for my roasted cauliflower, I do a little salt and pepper and just olive oil. Keep it really simple. You can do so many awesome spices on cauliflower because it has such a mild flavor that it will really take on anything you give it. But I like to do mine simple because I'm telling you guys, if you roast your cauliflower 400 degrees for about 40 minutes-ish, just keep an eye on it until they start to turn kind of this brown color. Take them out of the oven, and while they're still warm, eat them with ketchup, and they taste like tater tots. I'm not joking. If you hate cauliflower, you might not think that, but honestly, they're so freaking amazing. So these I just cooked up in advance. They're, a little more soggy once they've been in the fridge, but I'll just pop these back into the toaster at 400 for like 5 minutes, and I'll reheat them up and give them a little crisp, and then I can eat them with my ketchup again. So good. And with sweet potato, this is how I cut mine in rounds this time because that's what I was feeling. You can cut them however you'd like. You can do them in cubes or sweet potato fries. And again, you can pop these back in the oven for just 5 minutes and they'll be ready to go. Or you can have them cold. They're really yummy cold. And if you have a little one, babies love sweet potato and little kids love sweet potato. So you can make some advance and just omit the salt if they're under 1 and have some yummy sweet potato for your little nuggets. So in addition to that, I also usually prep some kale or romaine lettuce for salads throughout the week. I actually don't have any of that on hand right now because I need to go to the grocery store. So just to kind of tell you what I would do. So I would get a bunch of kale, the bunch it comes in, come home, and then I would take it before I even wash it, because, well, if you have a salad spinner, or you could just do a big bowl. So you want to remove the ribs from the stem rib, whatever it's called, from the kale, and then you make a little pile, and then you chop it into little bite-sized chunks, whatever you like. You can even do it like really thin ribbons if you prefer that in a salad, but I like to do mine in little bite-sized chunks. And then I throw it in my salad spinner, and then I let it sit in the sink and just let it kind of with water, full of water, and let it kind of bathe to get off all the dirt, because some kale can be really dirty sometimes. And then I'll drain off the water and spin it in the salad spinner. And then I'll take just like a Ziploc bag, and you can use something reusable as well. And I put all my kale in, I add in a paper towel, because that will help absorb all of the moisture, extra moisture. And the kale will literally stay fresh as the day you bought it for like 2 weeks. I'm not joking. Hopefully it doesn't last 2 weeks in your fridge, but it stays crispy and amazing for so long. And you can also do that with romaine lettuce. And when you prepare things fresh like that, they last so much longer than if you go buy them pre-bagged at the store. So I highly recommend going and buying, whole produce and prepping it at home if you can. Obviously some of us don't have the time to do that, but I mean, it really doesn't take that long, and you save so much money and have stuff all week long. And I'll make kale salads with that. I'll throw them into a stir fry. Maybe I'll even throw in a bunch into my marinara sauce and blend that in, so I get a little bit more nutrients for myself and for my kids. So lots of different things. You can roast, any vegetables. You can do roasted broccoli, you could do roasted carrots, you could do roasted asparagus, whatever you want. And then any grain. So quinoa is really good. And like I said, sometimes I'll do like Mexican rice in the slow cooker or the rice cooker. So I'll do like a Mexican rice, and then maybe I'll scratch make some beans and have that in the fridge for the week. And that's really delicious for breakfast or lunch or dinner or anything. I'm telling you, eat beans and rice for breakfast. It's so delicious. But yeah, so I hope that was helpful. That's just a little inside scoop on how I do some of my meal prepping. If you have any questions or want to see anything else, please let me know. I hope you enjoyed this show, and I hope that you come back and visit me again soon. Love you so much. Bye.